All right. Yep. So today, during our podcast, we are on the way to Shadydale. Oh, I am Shannon,
I'm Andrew.
and Shadydale is where we are currently in the middle of a 1901 flip.
Our technically our second flip.
Second. Technically our second together. And this is the oldest home I've ever done, so lots of fun lessons have been learned for sure. But anyways, today, what do we want to talk about?
So today we're going to be talking about all of Shannon's startup knowledge. So she started roughly 7 or 8 businesses, some real estate connected, some not, a bunch of bumps in the road along the way. So I feel like it would be a good podcast for anyone to listen to who's looking to start their own business and just learn from mistakes, as Shannon likes to say. It's easier to learn from mistakes than learn from success.
Yes. Okay, so Andrew will have to help me out because my memory is terrible. Should we start all the way back when I started a cleaning company?
Yeah, probably.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So long time ago, when I had 2 little girls at home, I had to find a way to make money. So I thought cleaning at night would be a great idea. That way we didn't have to put our kids in daycare and all that stuff. So I started a commercial cleaning company, and then for some reason that was just easy. So we grew extremely fast. Had all the Charter Communications accounts in Georgia, the Granger accounts, grew quickly, and then lost everything even quicker. So that was a matter of trusting people that I shouldn't have, just needing help, hiring people, hiring the wrong people. And yeah, so I kind of got screwed over, for lack of a better term. I was young, dumb, really just wanted to make money to, keep my kids out of daycare where I could stay at home. And it failed.
So what do you think your biggest downfall was at? Was it just trusting the wrong people, or
I think it all really
growing too quickly maybe?
No, I think it was not really understanding how to run a business, but then definitely trusting the wrong people. Like, I trusted my neighbor. Probably not the smartest thing, just because he had time to clean. So it was kind of dumb. I mean, I was definitely dumb, but I learned a lot. I never graduated college for business. I went to college, got 1 year under my belt. That was it. So everything that I've built has been, learned along the way. School of hard knocks. Yes, that is a phrase. So yeah. Then from there, I dabbled in a lot of things. I had lots of part-time jobs here and there. And then my real estate career would be next.
Okay.
I think. I did Mary Kay Cosmetics, all that fun stuff. But got into real estate. Actually, John Durham and Tim Sexton, I hired them to, I think, sell our house, our very first home. And they offered me the opportunity to come and work on their team. So that was about 23 years ago. And again, had good leadership, lots of business. So I was a buyer's agent, seller's agent, and just did very, very well with that. I liked helping people. I liked working in an industry where no one could kind of set a cap on what I could or could not make. So it was definitely, I think I've always been an entrepreneurial spirit, always trying to figure out things to do, which I think can get a lot of people in trouble, but so far it hasn't.
Well, and I think for you, people who don't know you probably don't know this, but Shannon's not money motivated. She's more legacy motivated. So I think building a business, you have a better mind for it, because it's not okay, I want to make X amount of salary. You just want to grow the company to be as successful as it can be. So I think that's where, especially in your current one, is where you'll have the most success. What did you learn? I know even for me, starting out, I have to start my real estate LLC. What's your best advice for new real estate agents who haven't even? I know you have agents on our team who haven't even. They've been doing it for 4 or 5 years and they don't even have one. So
Yeah. So that comes like business structure, I think.
Yeah.
So I would tell most agents get in and don't worry about the business structure that first year. If you take off that first year, like Andrew's had a very successful first year. It's been amazing to watch. However, even with that, you don't know how you're going to do right when you get in this business. People think they're going to be amazing at it because they're very personable and, have lots of great assets, but they get in and it's very, very difficult. So get that first year under your belt, and then sit down with a coach or someone who is really savvy at business, because you do need to structure it in a way that, one, you're helping yourself with taxes, so between the LLC, S corps, all that fun stuff, and then structure it in a way where you're paying yourself, because the quickest thing you need to do when you are running your own business is do not spend what you make. You have got to get to a place where you are paying yourself a salary, no matter how small. So even when I was selling, and I would sell 3-4 homes a month, bring in 20-30,000, I never made 20 or 30,000. I put that in the bank and I pay myself a salary. The quicker you can do that, the better your business will be, because you won't be dependent on your sales for your income. So if that makes any sense at all. Any kind of industry where you're based on sales, like commission-based jobs. So let's see. Real estate, then fast forward.
We'll flip it probably next, right?
Huh?
Flip it next?
So, yes. So
the first time.
2006, started a flipping company with 5 guys. Well, including myself, so 5 total. Again, just huge mistakes. Yeah, I was one of the guys, pretty much. They would probably tell you that too. So we started this flip it company, and again, just an idea came together. Everybody said yes. There wasn't a lot of planning. There wasn't a lot of business thought that went into it. So started quickly, failed quickly. So we lost our first 2 partners after the first partner after the first house, the second partner after the second house. So we were down to 3. And then we flipped a couple more, and then the market crashed, and then we ended up having a bunch of rentals on our hands. So we bought out one of the other partners. So there was 2 of us left, and we kept Flip It even until today. In fact, that partner and I just separated the business to where I took full ownership, so then I could partner with some other folks, which we'll get to later, either today or in another podcast. But so Michael, France, and I really kind of kept the Flip It business since 2007 till this past year, and but finally sold all of our properties in 2015, I think it was 15 or 16, when the market started to turn. So let's see, had the Flip It business, still selling real estate, market crashed, went to work at our church. I'm not a great employee. I would never hire me. I push, I think, everyone, even if I'm in an employee situation. So not the best. But then I decided to start a real estate team in 2012. That was kind of by accident. I won't bore you with all the details, but we did start it based on me having too many leads and too much business. I couldn't handle it, so ended up bringing on an assistant, basically. Carla Shoemaker was my assistant. She would help me convert the leads, set my appointments, and all that fun stuff. And then from there, continue to grow. Too much business, hired a buyer's agent, and then honestly, don't even know what happened, but 3 years later, I think we were at like 6 or 7 agents running a very successful team. Got picked up by another brokerage to do some new construction. Stayed there, grew the team to 16. And then in 2000, I always get these years mixed up, but I think it was 2020, we started.
January 1.
January 1, yes. Or 2021? Shoot. I can't remember.
2021. You bought it in October, I think, in 2020.
Yeah, so we bought a building and opened our own brokerage in 2021. And from the day we opened, we started with 16 agents. We quickly got to 50 agents within about a year, year and a half. And this year, 2023, was our year for let's open ancillary businesses. And how do you say that word?
You said it right, ancillary.
Ancillary. I said it right. Look at that. So we, okay, so this is where all the fun is, right?
Yeah, this is where you open up a bunch.
All right. Well, did I open anything last year? No, I guess not. Just the brokerage and the team.
In your company for your rentals.
Yes, I did. I started a commercial property holding company for our business because we grew out of our office when we opened the brokerage. So now we're renting a much larger building, but we still have that as a property that we now manage. So anyways, so yeah, that was a small one.
Well, and I think this is too where it gets fun, where like once you get to a certain level of your business being successful, that's when you have to like break everything down, and that's where it really can start to get super confusing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's where Noah comes in clutch with the keeping everything organized.
Yes, poor Noah. If anyone wants to add someone on your prayer list, it would be Noah.
But not to go back, but for Flip It. So the cleaning company, it was trusted the wrong people. What do you think made, besides the market crashing? Because Flip It didn't really fail. It might not have been as successful as it could have been.
So it again starts with getting in business with the wrong people. Yeah. Because I got in business with the five of us, and we weren't like-minded. Right. We weren't on the same page about like our growth, and we also financially weren't in the same positions either. Right. So I think just I think I have some of that smoothie king in my throat.
Yeah, I think so.
Hold.
So basically not properly vetting, not like, or understanding what will help you run the most successful business you can.
Right. Well, and also partnering with people that are different but like-minded, right? Like I don't need another Shannon. I need someone who does the things that Shannon doesn't do well. I need them to do it great. So Noah is a great example. I am terrible with like the accounting stuff, the P&Ls, the hiring and firing, the structure, and he is just naturally gifted at that. Whereas for me, it's like the 80-20 rule, right? Yeah. I would spend 80% of my time doing the stuff that I hate and I'm not good at. I cannot do that. Yeah. I've got to spend the 80% on the stuff that I am good at, and that's what's going to help us grow even further in the future. So yeah, it 100% comes back to getting in business with the wrong people. And I think in real estate, it's the easiest business to get in business with the wrong people. I talk about it in my book. I talk about like the things that we tend to do is we get in business with family, or we get in business with a friend at the office that both of you sell about the same amount. So therefore, let's do business together without really structuring what do you do if one of you gets sick and can't sell and you only sell $1 million? Are you still splitting everything 50-50? Like what's the plans? But people don't like to have those hard conversations. Yeah. Andrew and I are in business together now on a few things, and we've had to sit down, and they're never probably comfortable situations or conversations, but we just sit down and you have them. Like what happens if you get married and you want to get out of the business? What's the buyout plan? What if I'm married and my husband dies or divorce? What happens? What happens to the business? Because when you're married, those businesses are owned in essence by your spouse as well. So anyways, you got to have those conversations, and a lot of people just don't. So real estate is that industry that it is easy to set yourself up for failure.
Yeah, probably most sales industries.
Yeah.
Anything that's very committed, because you don't know how the other person lives. So like you said before with structuring your business, it doesn't really matter if you're selling the same. If you don't know if income, hey, we have this flip, but I need my money now, and then that can cause a whole nother, like even with the first one, we had the conversation of if it doesn't sell, we're going to run it out. And so when it didn't sell, we already know, oh, we're renting it out.
Yep.
So like, it is very the non-fun stuff of conversations and having it all more details than less. Kind of like a legal contract. It's always going to be better than, oh, it'll be fine. We trust each other.
Yeah.
And I think that is always going to be something that's constantly learned. I mean,
right.
Situations last week where it's like you think, oh yeah, trust them, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's always constantly learning, hey, people
aren't
that trustworthy.
Exactly. And
Sadly.
It's the hardest thing to like kind of think about, but at the end of the day, it should be the most normal, right? Everyone's going to take care of themselves and their family in essence first. I think it is extremely hard to find someone that truly doesn't put themselves first. And that's not like a dig on anybody. That's just, I think, reality of what we live in. So it is great when you find people that can give a little.
Everyone's going to, like, right. In situations, they're going to put themselves first just because it's, I don't know,
natural,
human way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
So let's see. So where are we at? We had a wonderful cleaning company that failed. We had the flip it business. Technically, maybe didn't fail, but definitely a lot of life lessons. Real estate team, real estate brokerage.
Same thing with the team stuff, though, right? As you've grown it, trusting, like learning that, hey, people suck. You know, it's just like this constant reminder of, you put your faith and trust in people, they let you down, and then it's just kind of hard to get that back with people.
Yes.
But I think the next one would be you're at
the ancillary stuff now, right? So we started a holding company for real estate agents because if you look at trends, we had a peak few years because of COVID. Some of the best sales happened in 2020, 2021, and 2022. So a lot of agents also got their license during that time because they saw that it was easy. So now we have a lot of agents that will be getting out of the business. So a need that we saw was, where are these agents going to go? They spent this money and time to get their license. What about a holding company? Now, instead of putting your license on inactive or letting it lapse, you can put it in a holding company and at least receive referral income. You can't practice, but you can refer business and collect a real estate commission check through a referral type business. So we started that. I think we have 6 or 7 people in it right now. Should easily get to probably 50 by the end of 2024, just because of how many agents supposedly are getting out of the business.
Yeah, and I think that one probably does have like the biggest growth opportunity quickly because it is something that is going to be needed. People don't even think about it. That's the problem. It's like, I just won't do real estate anymore. Not even thinking that this is an option to make it 25% referral on family and friends and not have to do any of the work. Exactly.
So I think for all you agents out there, anyone thinking of getting out of the business, come and talk to me first because you might not need to. But if you are, think about a holding company structure to make a little bit of income on the side from whatever else you decide to do. So we started that. We started property management. And with property management, we have, I should probably talk about owners on these too. So on the holding company, I did one partner, and it would have been something, I could have easily done by myself. However, again, once you get to know me, I really like to see people succeed. I like to bring people into the fold. I like watching people grow. I also don't like to hold 100% of the burden. Why would I, when I have amazing people around? So Sherry Puckett and I are the owners of the holding company. And then for the property management company, there are 4 total owners, and all of us have property management experience. So right now, I think we have something like 14 or 15 properties that we manage. We just started it this year, really not till like March. And we started it mainly for our own investors, give them a place. So property management is one of those like evil stepchildren. They don't have great reputations. You'll see a ton of negative reviews when you look online at property management companies. Also, it's hard to please people in property management. Think about it. You have renters and you have property owners, and you're the one kind of in the middle of it. So tough company. to keep reviews and things like that going in the right direction. However, with our company, starting it for just our own clients was the gist. Now our goal is to get that to 100 properties by the end of 2024. So that will take a lot of work, of course, but if we can get it to at least 50, we can hire like a full-time office person to kind of run it, which would be our goal. No real issues there, though. All of us are also sales agents, all the owners. So maybe that would be the biggest issue.
Yeah, you need like someone who specializes in accounting and just to keep everything straight, right? Like, I think going back to the Noah thing is when you have 4 sales, like sales is what they all do.
Right.
It is going to be like the details and stuff will get lost, or they'll, and it's not even purposeful. It's just like most salespeople, that's just not their way. They're not really as organized. They're not as, you're not like that at all.
Nope.
But you just don't have the time.
Yeah. So for that business, I think it's one of those things where we have to
learn and grow.
Yeah. But everyone works really hard. It's just we're spread thin, maybe is the best way to put that. And then we started, what else did we start?
We started a rental buying company.
A rental buying company,
So
NSA.
Great name.
Great name. That one we started with Noah, Andrew, and I. NSA.
And that one is basically like, so my personal goal is to own 50 doors in 5 years. And so that was, hey, if we want to start, if I want that to be my goal, then I might as well start. So that was basically that, talking with Shannon and Noah. They have similar goals of getting passive income. I feel like the next couple of years will be great for buying for that exact reason. So that is.
And that's probably a good point to everyone that's freaking out about the market. You wouldn't have us investors out here buying if we were worried about the market crashing. So just kind of think about that when you're hearing all the negative stuff on the news.
Because investors are super active right now.
Yep.
Very, very, very active. Any of my kind of more dilapidated properties that are on the market, I'm getting investor calls nonstop about them. So they all are usually smarter than the average consumer because they see the metrics and they see the market analysis and the trends.
Yep.
So
smarter, but maybe not so afraid.
Yeah.
Right. They're willing.
They're just more aggressive.
Yeah. So I think a regular consumer just doesn't have the skill set, so they get nervous and they're afraid. And then when you put the news and all of that on top of it, I think it just makes it even worse. So,
it's their business. I mean, you mean it's their business to know what the market's going to do. So of course they're going to be a little more wise about it.
And then what else did we start? I feel like, I told you I'd missed stuff.
Yeah, you sure did. I don't know, but let's go back into starting the brokerage. So I think you had your team. Your core was basically Meredith and Carla.
As far as staff,
right?
Yes.
And so staffing was always going to be and I think startup when you do so. Most of your companies start up and you ran it yourself and you didn't really hire staff, right? Your brokerage and your team was the only two that you started to have to hire staff.
Yes.
And so.
Well, the cleaning company, but that was just a big mess up. Everything was just a big mess up.
Yeah.
But yes, fast forward to I had a little bit of sense. I wasn't a complete dummy.
Yeah, and so do you think the cleaning company has helped you hire better now, or age, or just experience?
All of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned so much, but it also made me afraid to hire. So I think it kind of held me back from hiring faster. And then I think some of it is just repetition of mistakes, right? Because I hired awful director of operations, I think a year and a half ago-ish, and we interviewed. I mean, I had the perfect setup for hiring. Meredith interviewed, Carla interviewed, I think interviewed something like 10 or 11 people, got it down to the top 3. landed on one. Literally in two to 3 weeks, I knew this was a terrible hire, worst hire ever, like ever. And then I kept him on for another 3 to 4 weeks. So I mean, I think he was with us for almost 8 weeks, and could have let him go after week 2.
Yeah.
So from that experience, I learned hire fast. I learned hire fast after the mistakes that I went through with the cleaning company, because I basically stopped hiring at all. So then I learned, okay, just hire fast. And then with that last hire a couple years ago, I learned you need to fire faster. So I don't like the whole method of hire slow, fire fast. I think for people like me, where you've been burned in the past, that can become a crutch. You have got to hire fast. People are great interviewers.
Yeah.
People are good liars. So like you got a position that you need filled. You need to get yourself out of the way. You need to not be doing the job.
Right.
So hire. And if you make a bad hire, you just fire. Like at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. And if you go into it with here's my expectations, and you know what, you got 2 to 3 weeks. Like I'm not going to play around.
Right.
If this doesn't work, I'm letting you go.
Yeah.
And I think once you do that a few times, then you even learn what your expectations are, right? Because you may be starting out and saying, well, I don't even know the expectations. I just know I need them to get this job done.
Yeah.
Well, then you could end up, right? You get them hired, and then you're like, well, gosh, I actually need to add 3 or 4 more things to this list, because they're not even remotely meeting my needs.
Yeah.
So fire them.
Yeah.
Now your next time in your interviews, you have more details, you have more things that need to get handled by whoever you hire. I think it's just, we get scared, and it's kind of embarrassing, right, to fire someone, because especially if you take the blame, if you're like, oh, I didn't express enough detail, I didn't tell them really what I wanted. And that's what I was doing. I would blame myself for making a bad hire, and then wouldn't want to quote unquote punish them. Well, it's not a punishment. They're not meeting the expectations of the job that need to be done.
Yeah. Like breaking up with someone.
Never had a problem with that. So I don't know why firing is a problem. But I think it's because it's their pockets. Like I start feeling bad for their whole family or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But
emotional areas are. See, I would have an easier time firing someone then. They can go get another job.
Somebody else can go get another girlfriend.
Yeah, but you have an emotional attachment, and like that's, I think, a harder heal than finding a job.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
No.
That's my take on it. But yeah, I think anybody doing a startup, once you start hiring, the whole mindset, understanding, hey, like, and I told Shannon this, I've only been there a year, but like, you're a small company. Like, your staff has to go over and above to do like stuff that's not even a part of their job description, because it has to get done. Right. And when you're growing, there's going to be more crap that comes up that has to get done. And no one's job description, but it still needs to get done. Yeah. And so it's just kind of, when you have like-minded, and I think our staff now is very, very good at that. I think no one's lazy. Everyone works hard. Yep. All mostly like-minded.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I feel like having a good core group is what really sets us apart from a lot of other startups, where it's because I have a coaching company. Oh, that's the other thing I started.
Yeah. Yep.
Started a coaching company.
Hopefully another company here in the next.
Yes, hopefully. So in the coaching company, I meet with brokers that they just won't hire. They're not doing enough business personally, so they don't have the funds to hire. Okay, it's going to be loud for a minute. During our commute to Shadydale, we're on some back roads with really slow people.
Yeah.
So anyways, they won't hire. They don't have the funds to hire. So they're trying to do everything, and it goes back to, you're doing stuff that you were just not good at. I don't care. No one person can run a business by themselves, because there's going to be aspects that you are not good at.
Yep.
And you need to hire those. I think people just are really afraid.
Yeah, I think
So
they don't want to fire either. So
yes. And then we have some seasonal rentals, so that's the other stuff. Learning the difference between like cabin rentals versus beach rentals.
And equity gain on each one of those
Yes.
versus, passive income.
Yeah. So I would say pretty much everything that we started this year all ties into real estate in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And in 2024, I think we're going to expand a little bit more, and it's not going to be just real estate driven stuff. But I think overall, like people like us, like Andrew and I, we're just not afraid to take risk.
Yeah.
So I think that makes it a lot easier when we're like, hey, you want to do this business?
Yeah.
Don't really know how to do it, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And I think that is probably the thing that most people, like, if you want to do something, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, if you do your research, it's a good idea, you think you can make money on it, what's the worst thing it's going to do is fail.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not going to be really that much out of pocket, like, in the grand scheme of things. And I think just doing it instead of, it's worth doing it and failing than never doing it and always thinking, oh, I wish I would have done that. So, like,
Yeah.
that's kind of always my mindset.
Yeah, and it's someone recently, it was on Addison's podcast. He said, I think it was James said, it's fine to like lose money and fail, right? He's like, it's better to lose money and fail early on than to spend a ton of money and learn like, I'd rather lose 5,000 than 25,000.
Right.
So just take risk. Obviously, set yourselves up financially to take risks. Don't
Do it within your means.
do it within your means. Don't auction off your house or anything crazy like that.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for like just tips and things like that, obviously Andrew, Noah, myself, a bunch of people at our office would be more than happy to like share in more detail and or assist you with answering any questions and kind of point you in the right direction. I tell everyone, like, I can't give a lot of like wisdom to what you should do, but I can tell you a lot of things that you should not do. One day that's going to change. It's slowly changing now. I'm getting so much better.
Yeah. I mean, you're pretty successful, so you should have some tips on what to do.
Hire the right people.
Yeah. It's a good tip.
So eventually we will talk more about our flips and catch you guys up on, are we calling those chronicles too? Like flip chronicles?
Yeah, we should. And do like a monthly thing. Oh, yeah, we bought 4 more houses.
We'll add that to our podcast rotation.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, because we have three
2 under contract, 1
that,
about done, and we're about to sell. So.
yes. So, and we can talk to you about how we did that, like buying for individuals and flipping it for them versus taking on all the risk by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of different options out there.
Yeah.
So I guess that's really it for today, and maybe we'll stay on the road.
Yeah, maybe. I was on the road. I just need to stay in my lane.
Okay. Yep. Stay in your lane. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
That's it.
Yay.
All right.
Not too bad of a podcast. All right.
34 minutes.
On the road.
Hopefully
Not
it
too
sounds
distracted.
okay.
Yeah, hopefully this mic works. I've been holding this mic right here.
Yeah.
So hopefully this works. Cuts out some of the sound. Jordan, our marketing director, does not like all the car sound. But this is definitely the easiest way for us to do a podcast is
For
in
sure.
the car.
Because we're always going somewhere.
Always.
We're always commuting.
We're always commuting. We're always driving. All right, you guys have a great week. Bye.